It's a story that seems woven into the very fabric of our dreams: the forgotten heirloom, the dusty attic find, the painting bought for a song that turns out to be a masterpiece. We watch shows like Antiques Roadshow, curled up on our sofas, filled with a sense of hopeful wonder. We see the hopeful faces in the crowd, each person clutching an object that is, to them, a priceless link to their past. But what if that personal value suddenly exploded into a figure that could change a future? On a memorable Sunday at the stunning Hill of Tarvet mansion in Fife, Scotland, one family discovered that their beloved painting was more than just a memory, it was a treasure. The air at any Antiques Roadshow recording is thick with anticipation. It's a gentle hum of quiet conversations, the rustle of carefully wrapped items, and the palpable hope that a piece of personal history might just be a piece of national history too. Amidst this gentle buzz, a pair of guests stepped forward, presenting a painting to art expert Charlotte Riordan. It was a charming scene, evocative and instantly familiar, yet they had no idea of the incredible story they were about to uncover. Charlotte's eyes lit up with immediate recognition, a look that every guest dreams of seeing. "So here is an artist who probably needs no introduction to the audience at home," she began, her voice warm and engaging. "It's of course Jack Vetriano, instantly recognizable to many, many people." The name hung in the air, charged with significance. Jack Vetriano isn't just any artist, he is a Scottish icon, a modern master whose work captures a unique sense of noir romance, nostalgia, and untold stories. For Charlotte, seeing this piece was a moment of perfect serendipity. "Now I just want to thank you for bringing this in today because I was hoping we would see a Vetriano today," she continued, a genuine smile on her face. "That's because we're here in Fife, where he is from originally." The connection was immediate and powerful. This wasn't just any Vetriano painting, it had come home. The expert then added a layer of poignant reality to the moment. "And also, earlier this year, he unfortunately passed away." The appraisal suddenly felt heavier, more meaningful. It was no longer just about assessing an object. It was about honoring the legacy of a local hero, a man whose artistic journey began on the very soil they were standing on. The story behind the painting was as humble and heartwarming as one could imagine. One of the guests explained its origins, his voice filled with the affection of family memory. His parents had bought the painting in the early 1990s at the Pittenweem Arts Festival, a beloved local event just a stone's throw from the Hill of Tarvet. It was a simple purchase, driven not by investment or artistic speculation, but by pure, unadulterated love. "They liked it because of the close resemblance of my dad and his cousin, my Aunt Molly," the guest shared. Imagine that moment, seeing a painting that doesn't just depict figures on a canvas, but seems to capture the very essence of people you love. It becomes more than art. It becomes a mirror to your own life. "I think they bought it for the region of about £300, he added. A modest sum for a piece of art that would become a cherished fixture in their family, a quiet observer of decades of life and love. Charlotte listened intently, absorbing the beautiful simplicity of the story. "This was in the early 90s, she elaborated, so they wouldn't have actually have heard of him at this point. This was quite early on in his career, and before he was taken on by some of the more major galleries in London that made his name." This was the crucial detail. His parents hadn't bought a Vetriano. They had simply bought a painting by a local artist whose work spoke to them. They had an incredible eye, recognizing a spark of genius before the rest of the world caught on. They invested in emotion and in doing so, had stumbled upon a masterpiece in the making. Charlotte then drew the crowd's attention to the technical details, explaining what made the piece so special. "Interestingly, this work is framed like a watercolor work on paper, in that it's glazed and it's got the kind of cardboard mount, but it is actually an oil on canvas, or perhaps canvas board." She pointed out the artist's technique, the sense of craftsmanship in the outline, which gave the painting a graphic, almost photographic, impact. In her expert eyes, she could see the artist in transition. "You can see it's him transitioning from his early style into his more mature style." The guests weren't just in possession of a Vetriano. They were stewards of a pivotal moment in his artistic evolution. The painting, which the guests believed was titled Deck Chairs, was a perfect example of his classic subject matter, A really, really lovely composition that held all the promise of the iconic works to come.